I'm sure you've seen the artist's impressions of Cassie Ventura giving evidence in the P. Diddy trafficking trial. She is 8.5 months pregnant and she has given testimony about the abuse that she suffered at the hands of P. Diddy. And she's doing that whilst facing P. Diddy in the courtroom. Would that be allowed to happen in my legal jurisdiction of England and Wales? In this video, I'm not going to be talking about the advocacy skills of the lawyers involved in the trial. I'm not going to even touch on the evidence that Cassie Ventura has given during the trial. I am going to focus on one interesting aspect of the trial, and that is the fact that Cassie Ventura has been given evidence about the abuse that she suffered at the hands of P. Diddy, whilst having to give that evidence in front of him, with him there. Can you imagine? You have suffered years of abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse at the hands of the defendant. And you're having to talk about this abuse face to face with the person who, to all intents and purposes, tortured you. Now, in my legal jurisdiction, that would not be allowed to happen, and I'm going to explain why shortly. But first of all, I want to talk about the measures that the court in my legal jurisdiction can impose to ensure that the witness is able to provide quality evidence. Now, in England and Wales, if a witness is the victim of sexual abuse, domestic abuse, trafficking, they are entitled to special measures whilst giving their evidence. Now, special measures are things that will assist the witness to give their very best evidence, to ensure that the evidence that they give is quality evidence. Now, what do I mean by that? Quality evidence, or their best evidence, is evidence that is coherent, evidence that is accurate, evidence that is complete. So, to ensure that the witness is able to give that quality evidence, their best evidence, special measures may be imposed by the court. And examples of special measures include the witness being able to give their evidence behind a screen so that they don't have to see the defendant, in Cassie's case, P. Diddy, whilst giving their evidence. The court could also impose a video link. In other words, the witness may not be in court whilst giving their evidence. They may be in a different part of the court building. They may be in a different venue altogether whilst giving their evidence. So they will be cross-examined, but via video link. And special measures can be imposed for a variety of witnesses. So witnesses who are intimidated, witnesses who are afraid to give their evidence in court whilst facing the defendant, witnesses who are vulnerable. So, for example, if a witness has a specific learning difficulty, then they may be afforded, in fact, they will be afforded special measures. Witnesses are automatically granted special measures in specific categories. So, for example, if a witness is a victim of domestic abuse, if a witness is, what's happened to the lighting? Suddenly it's got dark where I am. I'm going to try and adjust this. Hope that's better. Okay, so what was I saying? Witnesses who are the, this is so dark. I hope that's better. So witnesses who are the victims of domestic abuse, sexual abuse, trafficking, those types of witnesses are afforded special measures automatically. Now, in Cassie's case, had she given evidence in a court in England and Wales, she would almost certainly qualify for special measures, which means that while she's in the witness box or the stand, if you're listening from America, while she's in the witness box, she would either testify behind a screen, she would testify via live video link. There could be all sorts of measures imposed for her to ensure that she's able to give her best evidence. So why have special measures not been imposed for Cassie whilst testifying in the New York federal case? I've done some research on this and I've discovered that in New York, special measures are not imposed automatically. In England and Wales, there are statutory provisions that enable a judge to order special measures. In New York, that is not the position. There are no automatic statutory measures for adult witnesses who may be fearful about giving evidence or who are the victims of sexual abuse or domestic abuse. And I find that really surprising. And I understand that the reason why there are no automatic special measures is because a defendant is entitled to face, to confront his accuser. I still find that surprising because we have the same rule in the UK. And the fact that we impose special measures doesn't contravene that rule. In fact, the European Court of Human Rights, on a number of occasions, has said that the imposition of special measures does not affect a defendant's right to a fair trial. So I don't understand why in New York a witness cannot be afforded special measures. Now, I understand that Cassie has been allowed breaks when she requires them. She's 8.5 months pregnant, as I said. And I understand also that the judge, if he wished, could order that Cassie give her evidence in private, in other words, in camera, without the public being present. Now, I understand that, but again, the point is there are no automatic special measures for adult witnesses or victims in federal cases in New York. The judge has a discretion to impose measures that will make the witness more comfortable whilst testifying. Can you imagine a witness who's having to confront somebody who has abused them over the period of, 7 to 10 years, confronting that witness in court? It must be absolutely terrifying. And so my view is that special measures really should be utilised for witnesses who are in this particular situation, as they are in England and Wales. On a different note, if you're interested in improving your advocacy skills or just generally learning about new techniques, then click on the link in the description box below. I have newsletters, I have analysis of courtroom trials, I have case analysis documents, I have all sorts of things free that you can access. As I said, click on the link below. I hope you found this video useful. I'll see you in the next one.